Yo everyone, thanks for joining me once again for Larry's full card betting guide. This weekend we have UFC 318, Holloway vs Poirier 3 to look forward to, and I'm keen to go through some of my own bets and ideas for betting opportunities for the card. I'll be going through absolutely everything in this betting guide, from who I pick to win each fight, my own strong favorites and solid underdogs, my favorite lock of the card and underdog lock of the card, and to finish off, I will walk you guys through all my own personal bets, just so you can see what I've decided to do with all the research I've put into this card. I do want to say before jumping into the video though, that we have been doing very well recently. We're currently on a 3-week profit streak. I'll put the results on screen for you guys now. But yeah guys, looking to continue that streak this week. I've also been potentially thinking about starting to do fight companions of some of the fight cards. So if you guys are interested in seeing that potentially in the future, please like this video and let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to jump on that sooner than later. As always though, for the betting guides, timestamps are in the description and the comment section below if you guys want to skip to anything in particular. So without further ado, let's jump into it. What you're looking at here are the lists of favorites and underdogs for the entire card, and like I always say, this is just to show you guys who I actually ended up picking to win on this card, and how many of those picks were underdogs and favorites. If you haven't come here for my full card predictions and breakdown video for this card, where I talk in detail about all my reasoning for all my fighter picks, please go and check that out if you want some additional information on why I've made the picks that I've made. And if you have come from that video, like I always say, thanks for supporting the channel and watching both the videos guys, it does mean a lot. I will now highlight in green who my picks were for this card, and as you can see, I've only ended up picking a couple of underdogs this time around. It's another favorite heavy card this time around, and what I mean by that is that some of these favorites are literally like a minus 800 favorite over their opponent, so some of the picks seem like a little bit of a no-brainer type of pick to me in my opinion. I do actually have a brand new section in this video though, for this betting guide, highlighting an underdog on this card, so let me know what you think of that section when we do get there guys. But for now, let's move on to my strong favorites and solid underdogs section. And as you can see here, for the strong favorites section, I've picked Vinicius Oliveira, Dan Ige, Kevin Holland, and Roman Kopylov. The numbers next to the fighters' names are just the return you'll get on them if you were to bet on them. So for example, if you were to bet $100 on Roman Kopylov to win, it would net you a profit of $50 overall. And for my American viewers, as far as I know, when he has the minus 200 next to his name, that's how much money you have to bet on the fighter to win $100 profit on your bet. And I will say this now, I like all these favorites I listed here, and they are my personal strong favorites on the card. I think the biggest favorites on the card aren't even these guys though. I'm pretty sure Atiba Gautier, Bruno Ferreira, and Islam Dulatov are the bigger favorites, and are bigger favorites than these guys that I've listed here. But that's how much I believe in these 4 guys to get the dub on the weekend, especially Dan Ige, who the more I keep thinking about his fight this weekend, the more I'm thinking this guy just gets a straight up win and chins Patricio Pitbull inside 2 rounds. I'm very excited to see how these fights play out. Anyways, now let's jump into the solid underdogs I've chosen for this card. I've personally chosen Lucas Bursky, Nikolai Veretnikov, Marvin Vettori, and Dustin Poirier as my picks for solid underdogs on this card. And although I have picked Max to win in the main event over Dustin Poirier, I am a little surprised that he is an underdog in this fight, especially since he has beaten Max Holloway twice now in his career. And if you want my opinion on Marvin Vettori fights, although he doesn't win all of them, they are free cash a lot of the time to go the distance because the guy's impossible to knock out. I'll explain more on why I have picked some of the other fighters when I do get into the bet section of this video, but for now, let's move on to my locks of the card. And if you do want to know more in general about all of my picks, like I've already said, go check out my full card predictions and breakdown video for every single fight on this card. I'll put a link to it somewhere here on the video. It should be in the top right corner of the video or in the description, so go check it out. Now that we're on to my locks of the card section though, I'll show you that I have ended up choosing Vinicius Oliveira as my favorite lock of the card, and honestly, I love Vinicius Oliveira as a fan of the sport. I've said it many times, I think he's the most exciting fighter in the bantamweight division right now. This fight is arguably a step down in competition from his last opponent in Said Nurmagomedov. I believe that Said, skill for skill, is more technical and dangerous than Carla Phillips, and it's hard to imagine Carla Phillips now being able to work his wrestling at all in this fight when fighters like Ricky Simone and Said Nurmagomedov weren't even able to just like ragdoll or control Vinicius Oliveira. If these guys are left on the feet together, I can see this ending in KO for Oliveira this time around. That's my takeaway from this matchup, guys, and that's why Vinicius Oliveira is my lock of the card for the favorite section. Let's now move on to my underdog lock of the card, and I did have a hard time picking an underdog here that I was fully confident in, especially since I only chose 2 underdogs out of the whole card to actually win their fights, but Nikolai Veretnikov is probably the best bet here to win against Francisco Prado, just because Prado faces a lot of the same issues every time he fights. The guy looks incredibly undersized for the weight class, he isn't the most technical guy out there, and he always, and I mean always, guys, slows down going into the later rounds of his fights. If Nikolai can keep this one standing, I believe he can look to take over the fight, especially in the second and third rounds when Prado's output goes down. This one is a closer one, but that's my reasoning for having Nikolai Veretnikov as the underdog lock of the card. Now, normally, we move on to my personal bets of the card right after this section, but I wanted to test out a new section of the betting guide that I've called high risk but high reward. Please let me know what you think about it, guys, and if I should continue doing it for future betting guides. This section is where I will highlight one fighter on the card that I think has completely juiced odds relative to their chances of winning. It could be a fighter I haven't even necessarily picked to win in my predictions video, but it is someone that I think has a better chance to succeed than the odds makers say. The fighter I've actually chosen for this section is Michael Johnson, if you guys would believe it. He's a massive underdog against Daniel Zellhuber in this matchup. It is understandable why, but I do think he's a little too much of an underdog over Daniel Zellhuber, especially when you look at this matchup stylistically. A high-risk bet opportunity for this fight is just the money line in general, but if you did want a higher risk bet, I do think that Michael Johnson to win by KO is not as insane as it sounds. In fact, if he does win this fight, it most likely is by KO in my opinion. So Daniel Zellhuber, although he is very technical, and like I said in the intro, I actually did pick Zellhuber to win this fight because of his technique, his size, and his reach advantage over Michael Johnson. But Daniel Zellhuber also does get hit way too much for me, guys. It makes me not fully confident in the Zellhuber pick, and the guy loves to make fights scrappy and fights in closer range for a lankier guy that shouldn't probably do that. There is going to be a point in this fight where there is going to be some scary exchanges, and Michael Johnson still has a lot of speed and power in those hands. Now, to top it all off though, guys, I do have the last insane bet for you all. That is Michael Johnson to win by KO in the first round. All these bets have an insanely high payout, but of course, they are super risky. So take care if you decide to potentially take the risk this card, guys, with any of these bets or with Michael Johnson in general. Let me know if you do. That's it for the new section of the video. Let's move on now to the personal bets I have on this card. And here they all are for you guys. My current personal bets I have on this card, so you can check them all out. We've done very well on bets recently. Like I said at the start of this video, we are on a 3-week win streak, so keen to see how all these bets end up finishing for this card that's coming up. There are many different types of bets here, as you can see, so I'll run you through all of them now. The hidden bet in white is the subscribers bet of the week, and I usually save that for the end of the video, but I will actually reveal it right now just for the heck of it. I have actually chosen this person here who did say they were feeling Vinicius Oliveira by KO for this card, and I have to agree. I think that's a very likely outcome, and I have added a bet for him by KO to the betting guide in that spot there. Thanks for all the comments, guys, by the way, on my predictions video. I loved reading all of them. If you guys want to be the subscribers bet of the week for the next betting guide, please leave your comments in the comment section when I post my next predictions and breakdown video for your chance to be featured in the betting guide. I'll start reading out the bets now though, and we can start with the props section. We've got Dan Ige by KO, and like I've already explained earlier in the video, I just think Pitbull is in for a rougher time against a very dangerous opponent that he cannot avoid getting into some sort of firefight type of exchange with. Dan Ige is incredibly hard to finish though, so it doesn't really leave much of a choice for Pitbull but to go down in this fight. That's how I see it personally. I've also got Bruno Ferreira by round 1 KO, and it's just because there is bound to be a firefight between him and Jackson McVeigh. I think this is a little too much of a step up in competition as well, a step up in difficulty for a young man making his debut, especially after having 2 other weight cuts for 2 other fights that got cancelled for him not even a month ago. He won't be in peak condition for this fight. I'm worried for him. There is just no way I can really see him win this fight. If he does, it would literally be insane. I've also parlayed Vettori Allen to go the distance with Kevin Holland. I think this one is pretty reliable. Almost all Vettori's wins and losses are by decision, and Kevin Holland should be able to beat and even finish a Daniel Rodriguez in this matchup. We've got, of course, here the subscribers bet of the week in Vinicius Oliveira by KO, and then we have the main card picks as a parlay. Of course, a bit riskier, guys, but I do like doing it each week. We have Daniel Zellhuber, Dan Ige, Kevin Holland, Roman Kopylov, and Max Holloway as my main card picks. We've also got my confident picks of the card as a parlay, and those picks are Vinicius Oliveira and Kevin Holland parlayed together. They are the fighters I am most confident in to win their fights on this card. Now to move over to the main bets I have here. These are all my single fighter bets, so I'll explain more on why I've done them right here, guys. I've got my underdog lock of the card in Nikolai Varetnikov here as a bet. I've already explained why though, so this will be the one that I won't explain too much further. And I'll save you guys some time. I've also got a bet on Marvin Vettori, and I am nervous about this one, but Vettori, I think, is just going to do more in terms of output in this fight against Brendan Allen. That's pretty much where it falls down to, guys. If you do want to stay with a safer bet, though, just stick with the Vettori and Allen bet to go the distance. I think that one's pretty much a guarantee win. I also got a bet on Max Holloway as well. No disrespect to Dustin Poirier at all. I just think Max beats him in this fight, most likely by decision, and the odds weren't terrible for the bet either. Roman Kopylov is another bet here, and he most likely gets the better of every exchange on the feet against Costa. The dude is just so technical. It's hard to imagine him losing unless Costa pushes a pace and starts wearing on him in the third round. And lastly, guys, I do have that moneyline bet on Ige, and you guys already know how I feel about Ige, so there is no need for an explanation for this bet. Good luck to everyone now watching this video with your bets for this card. That's it for Larry's full card betting guide for UFC 318, Holloway vs Poirier 3. If you do like the videos, guys, and you want to see more of it, please let me know in the comments below, and make sure you like the video, please, of course, to support the channel. If you do like the idea of potentially having a chat with me while the cards are live, let me know in the comments below, because I might just start doing those fight companions soon. I actually don't have a webcam though right now, so I'll have to potentially buy one down the line. But thanks for watching the videos, guys, and see you guys next time.